Kogoya. As you can see on the picture here, Kogoya is a contestant for Miss Indonesia 2025. She represents Papua and she got kicked out from the event because she waved Israeli flag, the Star of David. There are a lot of problems with when you do this in Indonesia. The majority of Indonesians are Muslims. The government said the Muslims is about the population is about 86.7%. I disagree. I think it's only 82 to 84 maximum, maybe even 80%. But however, regardless, so it is normal for the country to support Palestine. Since 1940s, since the time of President Sukarno, the first president in Indonesia, they already voiced it. They tell the world that they support Palestine. Even though, in theory, Indonesia always maintain, well, they keep saying, Indonesia is a non-bloc country, meaning they don't side with anyone. However, that's in theory. But I don't know why they say they're non-bloc, but they pro-Palestine. Until now, Indonesia does not have diplomatic relationship with Israel. And one more thing, Indonesia says Indonesia is the government. I mean, the country is a democratic country. Everyone should be allowed to voice their opinion. And many times in Indonesia, we have seen people waving Palestinian flags on the street, like, protesting against the Israelis. And now, Merin Skogoya, she did the opposite. She waved Israeli flag. I gave her credit for her bravery. Even men may not be that brave. So now, she got kicked out from the event, and I don't think she has any regret. I don't know. And Papua is a very controversial place. Let me show you, in case if you don't know where Papua is. Papua is on the island of New Guinea. The half west of New Guinea, the half west is under Indonesia, and the other half is Papua New Guinea. So now Papua is divided in the middle. As you can see here, this is the island, New Guinea. As you can see, the beige one is Indonesia. The white one on the right is Papua New Guinea. On the west is Papua. As you can see, you may wonder why the border is very straight. The border is very straight because that's a man-made border. Indonesia annexed Papua in 1960s. And since then, the Papuans have been fighting the Indonesian government. Thousands have killed. There's an army there. Not only army, they also send people from Java Island. This is the island. Java Island is the most populous island in Indonesia. More than half of the Indonesians live on this island. So the government came up a long time ago with a program called transmigration. So people from uh, populated areas, they can move to areas where people are scarce or less populated areas. It sounded good when I was little, when I was young, but now that I'm older, I understand what transmigration really is. It is a way to colonize the island because, as you can see, the island, the whole island, should be under Papua New Guinea, but they stole it from Papua New Guinea. And Papua has a lot of gas and gold. There's an American company operating there in Papua. They are doing the gold business, mining gold. It's called Freeport. Indonesian government give them a good deal to extract gold from Papua. The reserve gold in Papua estimated, well, not actually estimated, sorry, this is a proven reserve. The value is about 100 billion US dollars. This is just from the biggest, the largest mining site because there are so many mining sites there. And this is just one of the biggest gold mining. So you can imagine how rich the land is. A lot of resources. However, they make the people poor and stupid. In case if you don't know what Papuans look like, let me show you. There you go. They are primarily Melanesians. As you can see, these are the Papuans, the owner of the land. And if you don't know how Indonesians look like, just look at your Filipino neighbors or co-workers. Indonesians look like that. Just look like them. So they are two different peoples. They are not the same people. But Indonesia, the government of Indonesia, mainly from Java. That's why Indonesian presidents always came from Java and always Muslim. The president will never come from other islands. This is the problem. So Indonesia has been colonizing Papua in the last almost like 6 decades, about 6 decades actually, roughly 6 decades now. And yet Indonesian government always talk about how Israeli, you know, is the occupied Palestine. This is what the Bible say, you know. You see a little uh, dust, a speck of dust in your brother's eye, but in your eyes you don't even see, So this is just like that. And this is not the only thing. This is not the only, well, right now this is, they're still fighting, the Papuans. If you're a Christian, please pray for them. So one day they will be free. I mean, um, they really want to be free. A lot of them, they get paid from the government, with a lot of money. So the government can get the support from their leaders. This is the same thing. I don't know if you know much about history. A few decades ago, one of the provinces in Indonesia got their freedom. It was called Timor Leste or East Timor. This is the island. East Timor, the island is divided by two sides. One is Timor Leste, one is West Timor. West Timor still under Indonesia. They're actually the same people. This is the same thing. The same thing. Under the second president of Indonesia, Suharto, he killed 50,000 Timorese when they were fighting for their freedom. And that's a genocide. But Indonesians in general, even the public, they never admit anything. First of all, not too many people know about this because they don't really tell anyone unless if they read some news from outside Indonesia. East Timorese also they look a little bit different. They don't look like Indonesians exactly. They're between Indonesians and the Papuans looks like. So they're still darker skin compared to most Indonesians, which is light brown, and they have a little bit darker brown, and they have different kind of hair. But they were free now. They're independent, thank God. And even that, a lot of Indonesians making fun of them until now. They say, look at this East Timor, they are so poor. Well, you know what? Rich or poor, at least they're not under occupation. At least they are free and they look happy. No more war, no more fighting. So go back to Marines Kogoya. She comes from Papua. Papua is split into two different provinces, and well, doesn't matter which province in Papua she comes from. It is normal for her to feel the resentment against Indonesian government. Indonesian government has been exploiting her people, her land, stealing gold and gas. So that's why she feels, not only because she's a Christian, I believe she's probably Catholic, probably. Not because of that, but the resentment against Indonesian government is overwhelming. So it is normal for her to do something like that. And plus, if Indonesia says we are a democratic country, then it should be she should have a freedom. Who she supports. Indonesian government cannot, or The event, that kind of event, Miss Indonesia should not even kick her out because of her opinion. This is the problem. This is injustice. That's why sometimes I cannot wait until Jesus comes back. So we will have the real justice for all. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching and listening. Please pray for people in Papua. And please pray for Marines Kogoya. So God may protect her and give her wisdom and strength. Thank you for watching and listening. God bless you all. Have a nice life.